Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP, some Bitcoin, some liquidity scenarios, along with the Sigma coin. All right, so we've been working on our recovery. We've been kind of checking in to see how this process is going to play out here. And we have an interesting, the news narrative shifted, and we ended up having a large candle here, with creation of a gap. And ever since then, we've been kind of grinding higher out of here. Now, the cool part is we did a couple measuring tools here, and so we're going to show you some observations here. For what we have is we have a measurement of wave 1 and 2, and in this measurement of wave 1 and 2, we end up, there we go, there's your 2, and we end up getting a situation where we got past the equal measured move for an ABC up, and then have been grinding up ever since. So now with this, the wave count here we're kind of working on still. I can count this a few ways. So we've got 1, 2, and then we got 3, 4, and 5 already in. And now we're working for a breakdown here on this next leg. Or there's what we drew the other day where we have a potential continuation after doing this pullback of another. This is just a portion of the wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have our 5 that kind of takes us out of here. And this would be the continuation of the third. And you can see that with the price action, we're actually already starting to break out of here. So now, going and looking at this here, this is kind of what the thought was, is we would reclaim the entire region of to the upside, but then end up coming down here and closing this gap ultimately. Now, we do have a few things of interest here. We're fighting up against the 200-day moving average. So we resisted, broke above it, came back down, and now we're trying to fight it again. We're at +2 deviations after going to +3 last night. And our fair market value takes us right down to the gap close, along with this 50-week moving average, which is sitting right here in this green kind of step up scenario. So now when we look at how XRP did, we exceeded or almost hit the 2.618 here of 2664. And if we then look at what Bitcoin did, though, Bitcoin ended up off of its low doing a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 for an A leg and ABC down, and then it did another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was an equal measured move. So even though it wicked above, it came right back out underneath, and since then it's been having trouble breaking above this level here. So I'm counting this now as a 5-wave move to the downside with an ABC working its way up with this kind of freak out or fake out candle here at the open. So what we're going to be wanting to watch here for XRP is, does this in fact break into the new high, and this is this portion of our count, or do we instead kind of get up into this region and then roll over? And we got a couple scenarios to give us some examples. So here's a breakdown that we did back in June of this year, and you can see, actually I'm sorry, June of 25, yeah, June of this year. So you can see after the breakdown occurred, we finished with the capitulation, we did a bounce, and we then moved off to the top of the region, exceeding this portion of supply that we then chopped around on and then broke down and back tested that region, but only halfway. So if we do our fibs on here, you can see that off of this wave 1, wave 2, we ended up hitting the 2618, or just a little bit above it right here on this wick, and then we chopped to the side with a kind of grinding bear flag, and then we broke down. So if we go back to XRP itself, you can see that with this 1, 2, we've almost hit the 2618. So that would take us back up into this region here, or this breakdown. It would take us back up into this region here, or this breakdown, not before the bigger breakdown, right? So it'd take us above it. So we could see probably XRP working its way above this region into here, to the 2618, kind of wick above it a smidge, show that we're now clearing this higher low, and then it can work for the pullback, which would only take us probably to the 50-week, or maybe even this fair market value that is now grinding higher. So so that's kind of the setup scenarios here. So basically this is one of the examples of how we're going to be moving out of here. So dips are for buying. So we can long this, stop loss buy through this region. And liquidation would tell us that we do have that scenario. So we have a 2666 scenario available, which would then take us back to right up here, 2666, right up into that region, and maybe even squeeze a little bit higher for that last kind of push, and we go from there. Now, Alternatively, we're going to zoom in on the counts here and we're just going to take a look at this. I am identifying a potential 5-wave move to the downside. Now, we've been setting continual higher lows, right? So we're not worried about that, so to speak, but there is a 5-wave move right here to the downside that I'm tracking. And so we have this 5-wave move playing out here, and this would in fact potentially give us a breakdown scenario playing out, and this would be our ABC up, and it's a fake out, and then we roll over and break down. So we will see. So basically clearing this high, get up above the 8-day moving average. That'd be similar to the prior fractal, getting us above here, grind to the side, break down, back test, gone. Okay. Or we zoom in. Oh, there we go. Sorry, wrong one. There we go. Or this is in fact already completed for the breakdown within a 5-wave move to the downside and ABC up. And then if we don't clear or fail to make a new high, reject the 8-day or that level for the fib, and then we roll over and do the back test down into this region. So we will find out together as to which universe we live in, but basically setups are try to get as close as you can to this price action, put a stop above there to see if you can roll it down, or just wait patiently until this play moves out and we get anything back into this region and then long. So that's what we're looking at this morning. And then when we jump over to Sigma coin, we're seeing that the same setups are here. So we have very controlled by XRP's price action at the moment. So you can see here's our break up. We end up having the breakdown. It falls with a this move here, and then we have a kind of a rising wedge pattern. So I'd like to see some growth or strength on Sigma to work out of here and get some higher highs. Then we roll over to our 3-day. 3 days still printing almost positive, so we just need this thing to finish up another day or so of kind of mess up, and then we can start seeing Sigma break out of this region and push to the upside. So all right, and yeah, I think we did that. Liquidity on the 12-hour. Now, one thing to note with the liquidity on the 12-hour is that we do have, when we go to the 24-hour, very little, not showing as much, but way more below now. So this sets the idea that we could push up in here, sweep those last shorts, then come down and get these late longs, try to see how far it can push it, and then we're out of here. So all right, hopefully that was helpful today, and we'll be watching this price action on XRP to see if we break into a new high. So we will find out together. Thanks so much for watching. We'll check in tomorrow.